What are you doing in my swamp?
Hello everybody, this is Ogreboy and I'm going to be doing my review for the 1940 movie Fantasia. So this is a animated music concert that Walt Disney did in the 1940s where he uses classical music to bring to life animation in different little segments. Some of them have stories, some of them don't. Some of them are like abstract art and everything. But there's 7 segments altogether, so I figured I'd go ahead and just go through each segment and give my thoughts on each of them. The first one is Toccata and Fugue in D minor. I probably butchered the name of that. I'm really sorry. I'm not gonna try to announce who originally did them because I'm terrible with the names on these composers and I don't want to mispronounce them. But this one is just pretty much it's like shots of the orchestra playing at the beginning of the movie, and they like fade into these abstract patterns and animation and stuff, and it's like really cool. It has like different animated lines and shapes and cloud formations that reflect the sound and rhythms of the music, and it's just really well done. It's a lot of fun to watch and everything. It's not got a story or anything, but there's just something about it that's really delightful to watch. I really like that segment. It's not my most favorite out of all of them, but it is definitely a good one. It actually probably is my least favorite segment though, because like I said, it doesn't really have a story or a lot going on in it, but it's still entertaining. The next one is the Nutcracker Suite, which is a really good one. This is one that like features fairies and mushrooms and fish and leaves there, and they're dancing to classic melodies, like a dance of the Sugar Plum Fairy and the Chinese dance, the Arabian dance, Russian dance, dance of the flutes, and Waltz of the Flowers, and this one's really entertaining too. I really like this one. I've always really enjoyed the animation in here and seeing the fairies. I always love seeing fairies in movies and stuff because I love fantasy stuff, and so that was really cool. And as a kid, I always thought the dancing mushrooms and stuff were really cool looking and everything, but it's kind of trippy and stuff and everything at times, but it's a fun little watch. The next one is the most famous segment from the entire one, and it's because it stars Mickey Mouse in the Sorcerer's Apprentice, and Mickey is a young sorcerer who is the apprentice of Yen Sid, and he takes his master's hat to try to practice some magic, and he brings a broom to life, and it ends up creating a bunch of chaos when he can't control it. And I gotta say, I really like the Sorcerer's Apprentice. It's a really fun short. Mickey Mouse is just always fun to watch and everything. I loved him in this one, and it kind of brought Mickey Mouse back into popularity and everything briefly for a while, I think, and everything. Mickey was kind of starting to lose his popularity when this one came out and everything, and it kind of helped bring him back. And I really enjoy this one, and the music and stuff just goes so well with it, especially like in the scene when all the brooms are going into the and there to attack Mickey and stuff. It's really awesome and everything. I love that, and I love how at the end of it the sorcerer hits Mickey with the broom and everything. It's just kind of something comical about the way Mickey jumps and grabs his butt and runs. Every time I watch that scene, ever since I was a kid, I always thought that part was funny. But this is a pretty good one, and so far this is the only segment out of Fantasia that's gotten a live action remake. and everything. I kind of hope that they do more of these. I'll talk about which ones I'd like to see done in live action when I get to them. But yeah, the Sorcerer's Apprentice is a pretty good one and everything. And then the next one is Rite of Spring, which is probably my favorite one out of the whole movie. Although the one after it, I could also say it on. I really love this one. It just like shows like how the Earth began and how dinosaurs evolved from the microorganisms in the ocean, and then it pretty much just shows like the dinosaurs roaming the Earth for a while, and we get to see this really cool fight with a T-Rex and a Stegosaurus, which is really brutal for a G-rated G-rated Disney movie. Which honestly, I don't know how they haven't changed the rating for this movie yet. And everything, because I don't know how this is still rated G all these years later, but it has some really cool moments. And then after the big fight and stuff, it shows the dinosaurs walking through the heat, the Oklahoma heat, because I'm pretty sure that the heat that they were dying in is the heat that we're still having in 2022. They start dropping dead and everything. It has a really dark ending to the segment, but I love that segment. It's just awesome. As someone who loves dinosaurs, I just always have found that one fascinating and everything. And I also feel like that the animation in that segment and that whole segment was kind of a big inspiration for The Land Before Time and everything, which is another one of my favorite animated movies that I've yet to talk about on this channel. But yeah, I really liked Rite of Spring. And then we get the intermission, which they say it's going to be a 15-minute intermission, which maybe back in 1940 it was, but the TV screen only cuts it for about maybe 30 seconds, and then they go to this little part that's in between the intermission. It's this little thing called Meet the Soundtrack, where the host of the thing is of the movie. I can't remember what his name is. He's showing us this white straight line that's animated, and different people in the orchestra play their instruments, and every instrument it turns a different color. It's pretty cool little mini segment between the segments. And then after that, the next segment is the Pastoral Symphony, and this one follows the Greco-Roman world, and it's full of colorful creatures like centaurs and centaurettes, and it has cupids and fawns, and there's other little creatures in here, and they're gathering for a festival to celebrate Bacchus, the god of wine, when it's interrupted by Zeus, who is throwing lightning bolts at them and scaring them and stuff. It's a pretty cool segment and everything. There's some things about it that did not age well that actually was omitted from the movie. They took the scene, some of little parts of some of the scenes out of it, because there was some pretty racist stuff that was in this movie originally, which I never knew that because I've always seen the edited version. I think all the video releases have been edited, and this one is still edited too, even though it says it's uncut on the DVD. It's edited, which I'm glad it is, though, because I really didn't want to see that in there. It kind of would have ruined the movie for me, and I've loved Fantasia since I was a kid and everything. I really wish I didn't know about that part, but yeah, I'm glad they took that out of it for sure. But I love this segment and everything. It's a lot of fun. The only thing that I will say is really weird is it has a lot of nudity in this segment. There's like a lot of scenes where the centaurettes are topless and stuff. I was like, that's kind of weird for being a Disney movie, but of course this one wasn't going to be as beloved by kids and stuff as other Disney animated movies. This one was more made for the adults, so I think that's why they got away with it. But yeah, I really like this segment though. It's definitely one of my favorites. Like I said, it's probably my second favorite after Rite of Spring. The next one is Dance of the Hours, which is another one of the more popular ones that has 4 different parts, each representing a time of day. The first one is these dancing ostriches who represent morning, and then there's this hippo. I cannot remember what her name is. I used to know it, but I can't remember the hippo's name. It's like her and her servants, and they're representing the afternoon, and then you have some elephants that are representing the evening. And the elephants always I always thought were kind of cool, but they also kind of creeped me out as a kid. And then you got the alligators in the finale, or right before the finale, to represent night. And then in the finale of the segment, they're all dancing together until the palace that they're in collapses. That's pretty much the end of that short. Kind of dark. I mean, I don't know if they survived. I can't remember if they survived. But no, I love that segment, but it's not one of my most favorites. It's one of my least favorites out of all of the segments in here. And then you get the big finale, which is a really great way to end the movie. Night on Bald Mountain. I've always thought this was a pretty cool segment too. It's really creepy and everything, but this one follows the devil Chernobog, who awakens and summons evil spirits from their graves to bring them to Bald Mountain and torture them and stuff. And there's also like demons floating around and dancing around the town and stuff throughout the night. And when the church bells start ringing in the morning, Chernobog and the demons go back to wherever, I guess hell, I don't know. It doesn't really fully say, but they go back, and then it goes from to playing Ave Maria, which is a really, really beautiful song. And it's like as a line of monks are walking through the forest holding torchlights, and they go through the forest into to the ruins of a cathedral, and that's pretty much the end of the movie. But it's very awesome. I love that segment too, and I heard that they were working on a live action version of this segment. I think it's in development hell. I think if they do it right, this could be a pretty cool horror movie, but I don't see Disney ever actually fully going through with this movie and everything. But it'd be an interesting horror movie. But it definitely is not. Chernobog is definitely not like Cruella or Maleficent. He's one of those villains you can't really redeem. So I don't know how they would do it if they were making a movie that's just focusing on him or what. But that one's one of the ones I'm interested in. But the main ones that I would like to see live action versions of, because I forgot to mention it when I talked about them, would be the Pastoral, Symphony, and Rite of Spring. I would love to see a live action with dinosaurs and stuff. I mean, the little prelude to Jurassic World Dominion that was cut out of the movie that we saw released on YouTube a few months before the movie came out, that right there shows how great if they got the people that did the visuals for that to do Rite of Spring, it would be an awesome movie. Maybe get Steven Spielberg himself to direct it. That would just be so awesome. I would love to see that happen, and everything. Make it into a full-fledged movie about how the dinosaurs began on Earth and all the way up till them going extinct in the Oklahoma heat. That would just be awesome. And the Pastoral Symphony would be pretty cool too, although I don't expect that it would have all the nudity. And there was even nudity in the Night in Bald Mountain scene too, which I had forgotten about because I hadn't seen this movie in a while. But this movie had a lot more nudity and darkness and stuff. I honestly don't know how they haven't changed the rating on this one, because it could at least pass for PG-13 nowadays. But all in all, I absolutely love Fantasia. I think all these segments and stuff are really awesome, and this is definitely one of those Disney movies that feels like a piece of art, and everything. It's just a really great movie. I absolutely love it. It's definitely not one that, if you're not into classical music or animation, you're probably not going to be into it. I love animation and classical music, so it really doesn't bother me. And I really love this movie. I think it's really a great one. It is one of Disney's very best, definitely, for sure. So I'd say I'd give Fantasia a 10 out of 10. There really isn't any reason to give it anything lower, because it really is a good movie. The one thing that would have dropped it down to 0 isn't in the movie, so in the versions I've ever seen, so it would have dropped it to 0 if that would have been in there, though. I'm not gonna lie, because that would have made me mad. But I love Fantasia, though. I think it's a really great movie in this version. I'm not usually one that likes editing and stuff, and hiding stuff, but this is one of the ones that I'm really glad they did it on and everything. But So anyway, let me know in the comments what you think of Fantasia, and I hope you enjoyed this video, and have a good day, everybody.